So, freedom won in Argentina. Javier Milei is president of the country, the first libertarian politician running as a libertarian, saying he would do libertarian things, actually gets elected for the first time ever. As far as I know, there's never been actually a libertarian candidate running as one that actually won. That's pretty wild, and that's where the question comes. Should you go back to Argentina because Javier Milei is now president? And that's the topic we'll address in this video. As always, if you want to learn more about all of this stuff, you have the channel with a ton of information. I always recommend my books as well, especially with this stuff regarding Argentina, surviving the economic collapse, what we went through in Argentina when things really fell apart, as well as survival skills. Books you have in the links there below. Check if there's any Black Friday offer with my books. It probably depends on where you are and the kind of things you have bought in the past, but who knows? Worth checking out. I've left a few other links from other stuff that I've reviewed these last few days. There's some offers out there, so yeah, just be careful and not fall for any, impulse buying. If there's anything that makes sense, you need it, sure, good price, absolutely take advantage of that. So let me actually go for the proper, because I appreciate the comment. Definitely is the kind of thing. This is from Steve Bishop. Thanks, Steve, by the way, for the comment. I thank you there, but yet again, with Milei changing things, please do a post about when it could be okay to return to Argentina. I would really enjoy the topic. That's a great question. And you know what? I'll do you one even better. Is it the case that you have to leave the United States because the far right now won with Trump? Trump is president. I have to run away, like all of those famous celebrities, right? Or what about if Kamala had won, or you've gone through Joe Biden? So Joe Biden president. Have you left your country because Joe Biden was president? Probably not. It's not something you heard a whole lot being talked about. I mean, a few people I have talked with, maybe a few that have thought of doing that, and maybe a few that actually did do that because they thought, but it was usually more because of the overall changes beyond just Joe Biden winning. Yeah, sure, that was not helpful, but it was beyond because of other reasons. But in any case, are you going to leave United States because Trump wins, or are you going to leave because Trump loses and gets replaced by someone horrible that you don't like at all? Or should you be going back to Argentina because Javier Milei now won? Well, it is pretty historic, the fact that someone running as a libertarian and someone that said that, yeah, things are going to be worse if you vote for me. Literally, that's what he was saying. There's going to be more poverty. We're going to be worse if you vote for me, because these are the changes we need to do. We cannot print any more money. We can't continue to just let inflation run wild. We need to live within our means, and it's going to hurt. He was extremely honest and transparent about that part. He was right, but he was very honest about that. And still people voted for him. They voted for the guy that said, no, I'm not going to be giving you more handouts. We're redistributing the wealth, and we'll take from the wealthy and give to the poor. No, we're not going to take from anyone, and things are going to be horrible for a long time. But eventually there will be hope. Once we go through this process of living within our means, things will get a lot better. It will take a time, but things will change for the better eventually. But at first, yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's going to be hard. And still people went for that. So that is something that I take a lot of pride in. The idea that Argentine people did that, which is not usually how it goes. When you have a candidate that says, yeah, things are going to be horrible for us for a while, and then you have the other guy that is more of the same, that's saying, nah, we'll do more welfare, more plans, we'll give more to the people, and we'll take from those greedy, capitalists that only want to take our resources. This is a rich country. We have oil, we have this, we have that. And it's true, sure. But it's also true in Venezuela. Venezuela is the largest reserve of oil in the damn planet. And still, people live in very much extreme poverty in an unprecedented scale for a country that has that much wealth. Crazy, but that's how it goes. That's usually how it goes with left-wing politicians, with socialists, with communists, with all of this poison in society. So now that, the guy won. You now have the guy. You now have, Trump won. Things are going to be great. No, no, they're not. I mean, for sure, things are not going to be great just because Trump won, and for freaking sure, things are not going to be awesome in Argentina simply because Milei won. There are certain tendencies, and first of all, there's things that you cannot change all of a sudden. You cannot change the United States, the way the lobbying works, and this is stuff that Robert Kennedy talks about all the time, and he says, "Gotta change that." Okay, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how much he changes. As of right now, that change does not exist. It doesn't exist. There is no such change. Oh, but Robert Kennedy will do it. Okay. Trump will also build a wall. He was president. He was also president during COVID. He was president with Tony Fauci right next to him when you were wondering why is he not in jail. So there's lots of things that you wonder, okay, and here you have the president of, he's been president of the country. He had 4 years to do lots of these things. How many of those things has he done? How many of those things has he not? How many of those things he has done are things that felt very much like being betrayed, like the bump stock ban? I think that was messed up. That has no place in anyone that is pro-gun. What are you doing? What are you talking about? You end up with more restrictions than when freaking Obama? Obama was better for gun owners than Trump? That does not sound right, does it? Well, my point here is, just don't be a cult follower. Don't be one of these fanatics. Don't be one of these polarized figures that's all awesome or all crap. Honestly, the world is not in a great place anywhere in the world. We're at war in different parts. The economic situation is terrible all around. If you think it's going to be getting a lot better, just because the economy is doing great. For who is it doing great? Are you doing a whole lot better than people? Oh, the thing is, it's all over the world. It's sort of the same thing. And, going specifically now to the question of Steve here, no, I don't think that just because Milei won, it's a time to run back to Argentina because now everything is awesome. Argentina ends up in this place after almost 100 years of spending, of corruption. It's just the case that just a couple days ago, getting out of focus here, just a couple days ago, Milei brought down a law that was about to be passed that would have banned anyone that has been sentenced from corruption from being a candidate. If you had been found guilty of being a corrupt politician, you could not run again. When that sentence was finally, when that sentence was final, right, and when it was reevaluated and reassessed, and finally 100% certain that you were a corrupt politician, you could not run again. That was a law that Javier Milei brought down because he wanted to benefit Cristina Kirchner, the former president of Argentina, who is responsible in an enormous way of all of this that we went through. So Milei, libertarian Milei, and it's kind of like, okay, where's the libertarian of all of that? Libertarian Milei saves Cristina Kirchner because of political favors, because now she's gonna vote for the guy that he has as president of the House and whatnot. So politics, man, nothing really changes. I mean, some things change, and fingers crossed they do keep getting better in terms of the economy. I think that's fantastic to live within your means. I think that every country should do that. I think that's something that Elon Musk liked a lot from Javier Milei, and liked to talk about that with Trump. And Trump was, yeah, my friend from South America, make Argentina great again. We'll see how much of that he can actually implement in the United States with Soros in Treasury. That's not going to happen. That's not going to go any way libertarian-esque. No, forget about it. No way. So, no, I would not be running back to Argentina, as painful as it is. And I don't run around anywhere. I didn't run away from Argentina. I left in, less than ideal circumstances. Anytime you leave your home, you're doing it in less than ideal circumstances. That's why you're leaving in the first place. Now, I am extremely lucky and blessed, and the way I did it was not exactly hanging from a dinghy and crossing, right, from Cuba into Florida, right? No, it's a different story. And again, this is the kind of thing that I talk about in the chat. This is what I do. This is what I've been doing for a long time. So I've been prepared for a long time. I know how to handle myself in all of these aspects, including the idea of having to relocate, right? The difference between being a refugee and an expat is what? How much money you have, how well you manage to do that, how much documentation you have. Well, all of those things, maybe, yeah, and more. It's definitely better. It's definitely better when you're more of an expat than a asylum seeker, right? At the end of the day, you're still someone that left your country. It's not all that pleasant. The alternative is, oh, if you traitor, you left. Well, no. If there's one thing I insist about here all the time in the channel is I don't judge people that leave. I don't judge people that stay. If you're in your country, you're happy, my God, stay in your country. You're happy there, wherever that is, doesn't matter. You're happy in your country? Yeah, you stay there. All right, fantastic. Now, I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of that. I just want change. I just want to go somewhere else. This is not doing it for me anymore, man. Okay. I talked about this in the video regarding the actors and celebrities in the United States that are leaving the United States because of Trump. Samuel L. Jackson saying he's going back to his people in Africa. Yeah. You know how much you have in common, Samuel L. Jackson, with those people? Nothing. Nothing. It's not me saying, it's them saying it. You are nothing like them. They have a lot more in common with someone that's maybe a little bit more like-minded and as white as a piece of freaking paper than with you. Just because you're what, black? That's what you have in common with him? You think that matters? Well, if you think that's the most important thing, there's a word for that which we'll not repeat because YouTube frowns upon it. But yeah, it used to be that you don't judge people by the amount of melanin in their skin and so on. They don't want you. You're not like them. You're nothing like them. Those people that are used to adversity and struggling, they are more third worldly people than you'll ever be. They understand things that I understand a lot better. They're more my people than Samuel L. Jackson's people. I would get along a lot better with them than they would. It's simply the way of how these things go. The life experiences that you have, right? And that's why they stay. They talk about leaving, and they often talk about leaving because they're getting paid millions of dollars by the Democrat Party, like the Avengers. The Avengers assembling for Kamala Harris. Have you seen that one? That is a fucking ton of money, man. How much money changed hands there? How much did Scarlett Johansson get paid for doing that? Harrison Ford, the rest of the celebrities and famous actors and people. Taylor Swift banked on that shit heavy. But they're not leaving, man. No? And that's fine. Now, I'm fed up. Yeah, I'm glad that Trump won, but this is not going the way I want. There's a number of other things that are not aligning the way I want. I don't want to have this life anymore, man. I want some other things, and I'm not getting them in the United States. Okay, I'm looking to live. Where are you going? Well, I have a lot of money. I'm actually moving to Switzerland. Fuck yeah, that is probably the best place for you in the world. No, I just want extremely high quality of life, education, and things that basically work. And yeah, all right. So you have data of some of the more better ranking countries in terms of quality of life and infrastructure and education and health and job and Gini index, which is also a very important figure. That's the figure that says, hey, how much money does your boss make? Well, 3 times as much as you, or $1 million. Well, that dictates usually, that's surprisingly linked to the quality of life. And you would assume, oh, that sounds like something of a socialist government. No. In the most socialist governments, you have the extremely wealthy elites, and then everyone is crap, living in absolute poverty. You don't have a low Gini index in any socialist country. No. So that's all fine. If you want to make that change, go for it. And even, another layer added to this. You stay in the United States, or you stay in Argentina, or you left the United States, or you left Argentina, and then you change your mind? Who has the right to say, no, you cannot, you left now, you can't come? That is a kind of thing that you heard from a complete idiot. That doesn't make any sense. You have the right to change your mind, have a different opinion. Your life may be completely different. I've talked with people, I've been with people that had an opinion, and then when they had kids, when they have jobs, when they had better opportunities, when they had maybe health problems and they relied a lot on their family, man, that is something that it really opened my eyes on how much I need my people around me. I'm not leaving, or I'm moving back, right? It's all good. You have the right to do all of that. No one has a right to judge you for that. How personal the decision is, it is absolutely on you. It's very painful to leave your country behind, no matter how awesome it is or not. And for us, Argentines especially so, because we're different. This is the Argentine exceptionalism. You know, like the American exceptionalism, instead this one is actually true. We are exceptional people. Why? Because 3 World Cups? Yes, that's also true. Yeah. Seriously, I was looking for pictures as of Argentina being back and so on. Argentina is unlike any other place. There's a guy, that American guy, that I shared a video. I think he moved to Argentina. He seems to love it. Of course, why wouldn't he? He's traveling all over. He's in Mendoza and so on. But this sort of thing, the kind of, in what other country, when Argentina won the World Cup in 2022, right? Guess how many people, none of these are the ones that won the World Cup. The World Cup is a big deal. It's certainly one of the exceptional things of Argentines is and anyone that knows anything about sports and no other country doesn't matter as much as in Argentina. Other countries may have more World Cups, like in the case of Brazil. Other countries may have created the sport itself, like in England. No other place in the world does it matter more than Argentina. It's simply in your DNA. Even if you don't like football, like in my case, I'm not much of a football fan. I do, like when the national team wins, but I've always sucked at it. It requires a certain an amount of skill that I've never had. Not being a football guy, not being a person that played, I still had around 5 or 6 football balls in my house. That is the average number of football balls that you have when you don't like football. When you do like football, you probably play it every weekend. You are maybe in a team, and it is a big deal. You know what else is exceptional about Argentine people? For this thing, 5 million people gathered. There was nothing. There was no rioting. There was no arson. There was nothing. Imagine having 5 million people. The entire country went out. No one was in their homes anymore. Everyone that was mobile. 5 million people in the streets, nothing happened. And I could go on forever. But basically, Argentines, you will never find someone like an Argentine, especially if you are from Argentina, the way in which you relate to other people, the closeness that you have, the way an Argentine friend, is different from people. You make friends with other people. Yeah, it's all good, but it's not going to be the same thing. In this stuff, this is the kind of thing that, you will not find anyone else that is quite like someone from Argentina. And us from Argentina know it perfectly well. So when we look at this of, I'm going to stay, just know that if you end up leaving, you will never feel exactly, no one that leaves his country ever feels at home anywhere else. As time goes by, and you build your home, when you have your families and so on, for sure. But there's nothing like having that closeness that people have in Argentina. People that are not from Argentina will tell you this as well. Just look it up yourselves. Don't believe me. Just look at Americans that have traveled or lived for a period of time in Argentina. Will tell you it's unlike anything else. And it is just like that. It is, I think it's the best people you can find. Like overall, sure, there's bad people everywhere and great people everywhere. But in general, the way in which you communicate with one another, the way in which there's that bond that I don't know what it is, football, mate, I don't know what exactly it is, but it's different, that's for sure. But you just don't make these decisions simply because you won the World Cup. You don't make these decisions because you have Milei back and he's now the president. The same things that probably made you consider leaving or maybe ended up making you leave for good, right? Actually pack your bags and leave. That's not going to change just because someone is president, man. So answering Steve there, no. And the same goes in any other country. The same goes anywhere else. Just because someone is president, again, this is a matter of perspective and keeping an eye on things, having an idea of political changes and economic changes. So you have a Maduro, you have a Chavez, and that goes on for a while, and someone else comes by that's exactly the same, things start going bad, and then you leave. That may be it. But just because one guy won, no, you don't change, you don't fix, or you don't break what has been broken or fixed for over 100 years in just a couple years. That's not how it works. See you next time, guys. Take care.